Hello everybody, this is Elena Strombo from SodaTutorials.com. Elena is my in-game name, and tonight I just actually want to go over the Release 40 instructions and just hit on some of the highlights on what's being expected for tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to this patch. There's a lot of stuff coming in. The one thing, the underlying theme is that there's a lot of work going on from Portland in preparation to polish out the game. So a lot of things about fixing scenes that have broken aspects, redoing scenes that are clones from something else, so uncloning them and giving them original content. There's a big focus on the new user experience. You see it as NUE, and you'll see that they've actually, in here they talked about fully upgrading the Unity 5.5, so they're trying to address some issues with performance as well. So a lot of tweaking to make the game even a bit more stable than it has been. I can tell you beyond, just running into certain types of things, like I'll jump up on a fence or something and you can tell I'm floating above ground. Things like that, which aren't really showstoppers or things that prevent you from playing the game, but just more kind of things you just kind of have to iron out. The game has actually been pretty darn stable, at least for me. So anything they can do to make it run a little bit quicker would be great. My biggest beef has always been when you go from one scene to another, the load time on the scenes and making sure that things are more quick or expedient would be great. So so let me get through this. This is kind of a walkthrough. I want to get this done out of the way tonight, get this published out there, and tomorrow, once actually the game actually gets released, I think it's usually around 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. it says here. I want to get into the game and start getting into some of the stuff and actually putting up videos on certain aspects of R40. I have had the opportunity. I am a Royal founder. I'm a backer, a Kickstarter backer, back from I think March of 2013. So I do have access to the QA server, which you can see is online here. So I can actually go in. I've seen some of the stuff in there and been very impressed with it. Love going in there and just taking a sneak peek. It's only been the last release, R39, and this one, R40, that I've been going in and actually taking a look and spending the time in there. So help out where I can, finding if there are bugs and reporting them. But it's been, I was excited to see what I saw, and I'm excited tomorrow once everybody else gets out there and is able to play it. So without further ado, let's go on in here. So it is queued up for tomorrow. This is Release 40. It's queued up for March 30th. It's last Thursday of the month, typically, for 10:30 a.m. Central. I'm sure there's always a kind of a rush on getting people to get into the game. So whether you have the direct client and downloading it via, from Portland itself, I think that actually gets broadcasted out. There's that way, and there's the people who are using the game via Steam. Some controversy sometimes with Steam or not, whether to put something in Steam. I'm a big Steam user. I not only use it for myself but for my kids. So, the downloads for me typically are about a half hour or something for the downloads. So I'm usually in pretty quickly and pretty happy in that scenario. So, new user experience. The whole thing, one of the biggest complaints about it is getting into the game right now. Once you first start out brand new, it's difficult. I know you have like the start out town and kind of the start out quest, but you kind of get dumped into the world. So there's a lot of things that they're putting in to start making that a little bit more palatable for people so they can get kind of pushed in the right direction. Otherwise, for me, when I first got into the game, I asked a lot of questions on Discord. I started meeting people. I started watching Twitch streams, and I hooked up and started watching Marquee Dragon and stuff, and I learned a lot from a lot of other people. That's one of the reasons why I put videos out like this. This is for people to see these, and I try to answer things that, typically I had questions on. And when I'm playing the game, if there's something I don't know how to do and I figure it out, I record a video for it. So I'm glad that they're working on the user experience. So they're helping out, getting some of the people get into the game. So that's always a great thing. The Unity 5.5, should be invisible to us, but as far as they're going from one version of Unity to the other one, to the later one. But we should be seeing it in as far as performance, and I know they're mentioning here a lot of stuff with the AMD people with AMD processors. Obsidian Kabbalist, they are coming in. You're going to see a lot of them, and they're going to have, they'll be in these robes, but you'll notice on their face they'll have different symbols that represent the different anti-virtues. and they have different weapons and artifacts. So you're going to see a lot of different characters coming in. You see a lot of different weapons and all these pieces coming in. So looking forward to that. There's going to be new decorations, new patterns that are going to address that as well. What else we got in here? So Path of Love. There actually is some work on Path of Love on there. So there's some new things to help out with it. It talks about Estergard and Harvest, NPCs, not directly related. We'll have actually unique names in conversations if they're not part of it. The NUE, New User Experience, begin actually enhancing that. There is a refit on the Rune Ruins. This is one of the 6 ruined cities found in Novia that date back to the period. So there's actually some add-ons going to it. You go in and you're going to see a lot of different aspects to it. This is one that I actually have seen. I'm looking forward to, Serpent Spine Mines, and I'll say it with a quotes around it. I'm looking forward to it. Serpent Spine Mine is a place that I've done in another video where I go to get a lot of iron. It is a clone of the Graph Gem Mines. It's the one where you walk in, there's tracks, there's kobolds on the first level, there's 3 levels you get down, and there's stuff on the bottom, including gems and stuff, earth elementals and whatnot. The new Serpent Spine Mine is incredible. Even from the picture on here, you can see that it actually looks like a mine. It's an open area. You got gems everywhere. You got platforms that go up and down. Carts, mine carts that are running around. Yes, you're able to jump on mine carts and stuff. So the big thing I did not take a look, and I may peer out there tonight just so I can keep up to do the video on this, is actually where the iron ore is. I found, there's lots of new monsters and all this kind of stuff. You got to find, so if you're used to going out there for iron, you're going to have to find your way around this new mine, what the tricks are, where things are at, and then how to get around it. So, that always causes some upheaval because you have a pattern. If I want to go get gold, I go to Elysium, I go to the first level, I go around in circles. If I want to go out there to get iron on this is, it's going to be interesting because there's just a lot of different things in there. Devotional shrines to the 3 principles and 8 virtues are in the cities and villages across Novia. So we've got them all in here. You can see that the Book of Truth is over in area, the Candle Loves in Arteris. You can see where these guys are placed. We also got Skrek. Skrek is getting an update in there. So the Kobold Empire is now populated with city kobolds and the King Kobar and Korobar. And new artwork and new stuff for them. Start to look really cool. I'm liking all the clockwork armor and all that. Town sieges are going to be a little bit more clear as far as what's been completed. They're going to be putting flags and notifications like when catapults are destroyed. Xenos, we have a new feature that allows interactive teleporters to offer a list of multiple destinations. So kind of within a scene, getting to different spots within a scene, you can get around and be able to choose. Arteris has a gondola boat network, so you can get around Addons. Addons is pretty big. The city itself is big and whatnot, so being able to travel around quickly from the back end of it to the front end of it via these boats is a good thing. There's also the Greater Brittany boat interconnections, being able to travel around through that. There was a fix in the Rise. There was an exploit. I've been to the Rise once. I think I was out there last week with Marquis Dragon and some of the team. We had a party of 8, and we died very quickly and very often. So, but I guess there was an exploit with golems and mages in the dungeons, and that was fixed. Sky, we did some reordering of the celestial objects to in the sky to match the final names of the anti-virtue. So I'm sure if you use the astrolabe, the alchemist device, you'll be able to see the different ones that are up there. There's a whole host of scene fixes, and they talk about it, fixing missing stuff, fixing stuck spots and whatnot. So you can go through the whole list, and it goes from Airy to Approach, Arteris, Sewers, all the way down. So they list out all these different places. So this is just a whole host of work just to go back and fix things that are little oddities that are out there. The cast runes were delayed, so they are working on that's what's going to get delayed out. Elysium Mines, as far as the declone, has also been delayed. They decided to choose to work on Serpent Spine instead of Elysium. The Fall is delayed, and the Paths of Truth and Courage are delayed as well. We got pictures of the Kabbalists here. Here's the different masks, and you got the different which ones virtue or anti-virtues that they represent. You can actually find out like Dolus here is the Kabbalist of Deceit who causes confusion in the ranks, and Temna is the one who turns allies against each other. I like the one who is Corpus, this guy. this person or this one, the Kabbalist of carnality, who forces opponents to disrobe, therefore losing all their defensive protection. Interesting. I'm curious to actually see these folks and see what happens in here. So that ought to be pretty interesting. The Obsidian Kabbalist Vile Weapons. Each Kabbalist wields a unique artifact made from obsidian bearing the anti-virtue symbol. Making sure that each weapon type, including shield, are represented, so players would have a chance to get a weapon that they favored. Me as an archer, this crossbow, this mechanical crossbow, looks totally awesome, so I'm all excited about that. There's a wand, a repeating one, thin two-headed blade. So there's a whole host of these that are coming in with them, and I like the fact that they said, well, let's make sure we cover all the different types of fighters that are out there. We got the wearables, the 8 Kabbalist hoods that we saw up there, robes, plate boots, so those are going to be in there as well. Elemental and Golem ambush animations. There's a fix on those. Golems now lie. Elementals and Golems lie in a dormant state that looks like they're part of the environment. A pile of rocks, a bit of flame, until they come by. So they're going to kind of go poof, poof, pop up on you and catch you off guard there. So the wood duck. If you saw the telethon, you understand what the wood duck is. If you haven't, I would actually go back and kind of scan through that. I forgot where it's at in the actual telethon. There was there's a short story where they were creating some ducks for there, and they asked for sort of like a mallard, a this and a that, and they asked for a wood duck. There was some confusion when someone thought that they wanted a wooden duck. Versus a wood duck, which is actually, I didn't realize this is a particular type. So there's now a wood duck pet in the store, and there will also be mallards and stuff. So it's if you can go back and see their the spring telethon, it's worth seeing. Just a story about it. It was just kind of funny to see that, and it bloomed into a whole thing where at some point they created a huge Trojan wooden duck and stuff like that. Longbow will no longer look plain. They're going to be the basic longbow will have a new, better artwork for it, so that's cool. Nothing, I don't think, changes on the weapon, just how it looks. Hair fixes, basically how the shadows and stuff working on it. Full body wearables, items that cover the entire body, like robes and whatnot. Basically took up chest and legs before. These now allow equipping legs underneath them, so it's going to cover the chest on your character, but not the legs, and you can still wear leggings, so you have armor or whatnot. That's a cool thing, so it takes up one less slot on your character. The old artwork for the guards was not good enough, so they made some variations on that. Wealthy Merchants Take Two. When we first implemented this, the new Wealthy Merchant, there were no variations. The existing version had a backpack built in. This did not make sense visually in many places and was too repetitive. We've now created more variations. So they've done another cut on the Wealthy Merchants on there. NPC ladder interactions, so that actually to be able to use those and actively use them as a correct, including pets and whatnot. I'm excited about this one. It's the I said I play a female character in the game, so anything that can help out with it, with the dressing on the female side. Though I'm sure that people or guys will be able to put them on as well. I'm sure we will see them in the game. I've seen that plenty of times. There will be actually a ballet outfit and emotes. Let me see if I can bring that up. It's going to take me to the. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, here it comes. So there's a tutu, leggings, ballet shoes. They're actually going to have teachable ballet emotes with it. Jet, relief, jambe, pirouette. So I hope I pronounced those correctly. So yeah, just another set of emotes and stuff. It is cloth armor on it. I'm sure that is probably going to be dyeable. It is non-lootable in PvP. So yeah, so it's something they've added on for there. So we'll see more outfits out there. Floppy hats, people like them, I guess. They're on a scarecrow, so now they're wearables in there. Polished the flight animations of the dragon, especially on takeoff and landing. Elven Mage Road sleeves are now separate equipable. Epic Plate increased resolution was incorrectly set too low, so it's going to look a little bit more detailed on it. They did go through on cloaks, went through most of the cloaks in the game to make sure the colors, materials, brightness matched the original screenshots. So get the whole bit that are there. New weapons. and I don't know how this one. Kapesh. It's a one-handed sword. It's an ancient Egyptian weapon. The Norgard axe, the Cobalt electric axe, electric two-handed axe, the two-handed steam hammer, ornate Norgard axe. It's in the Viking bundle, and the ornate chainsword, which is on the add-on store. They've also added some new shields from the merchants: Imperial Heater, the Adorned Heater, Norgard, Imperial Buckler, Adorned Buckler, the Gilded Buckler. Black dyes affix, making it truly black, so they don't appear gray. Norgard clothing is delayed. They worked on the Vile Weapons hair fixes, delayed is starting that. Troll polish and children variants delayed, same thing. So they worked on some other pieces. So a lot of different, I guess, visuals that are coming in. On the crafting side, a couple of things that are coming in as well. Rose bushes, they've been added to agriculture. You can make bouquet and flower arrangements and stuff. It says they, in R41, they will be changing the dye recipes to use roses as the main ingredient. I'm assuming if it's like a red rose bush, if you're using like a red dye, I think they use apples, so they'll probably just blend that in. Bundles of arrows are now at 144 arrows. They've been added to merchants. I think they're at 24 by default, so you can buy them in basically in a gross there. Reshaping icons, there are now unique icons for all the reshaping recipes. There's one standard stock one. Whole host of new in-game patterns. A lot of patterns added to in-game gears. Reminder, you can get these by salvaging items. Parentheses next to each item indicates where you can find each other's loot. Each item has either loot or an inventory of NPC merchants. So the Kabbalist plate boots, you can get as loot. Hoods, loot, vile weapons are loot, Kapesh loot, these are all loot. So Cobalt steam hammer, the one-handed electric axe, the two-handed electric axe, the Norgard axe, the Imperial heater shield, you can get that from the merchant. Adorned Norgard heater, Imperial buckler, Adorned buckler, Gilded buckler, and round wooden shield are all from the merchants. Recipes, so craftable things in the game, the rose bouquet, the rose arrangements in a vase. Hopefully that means those vases we find in the dungeons that are just kind of sitting there, we kind of loot around, or in shops and whatever else, or what can be used. Kettle drum, large harp, which is cool on the music side. Post and rope water fence. Probably need to be able to craft some more rope. Once again, if you're down in mines like Elysium and all that, you always can find rope at the top levels. I've always seen to pick it up, so I have like 300 pieces or 300 coils of rope, so hopefully I can use that. Rough stone roadway pavers, the floppy hat, the floor oil lamp with the frosted glass shade, and the table version. There's a whole bunch of oak pieces coming in: carved oak figures cabinet, carved oak side table, carved oak weapon rack, which is awesome because they did talk about making a lot of the weapons being placeable in the house now. So if you got a really cool bow or sword or whatever else, you should be able to place those as items in the house. Before they just weren't placeable at all. New add-on store patterns. There's a whole host of pieces that are coming in from the add-on store. Black and chrome, ornate aeronaut outfits, aeronaut helmet, brown tricorn hat, top hat, plague doctor mask, highwayman hat, bicocket hat, bowler, plague doctor hat, bodice, the satin bodice. Sweet, we'll have patterns for those. Ornate kilts, long and short, fancy riding outfits, flesh tapestry, formal suit, cloth armor, wedding dress, tuxedo, ornate marching band, ornate kimono, floral kimono, chainsword pattern, Norgard axe. New eternal patterns for expired content. This is stuff from pledges, stretch goals, add-ons. So you can see that there's the brown nomad, brown chaperone, sword of Bahir, founder cutlass, royal founder cutlass. Everything in there is founder, has a royal founder. This is great because in the game I got as a citizen package backer. In the original one, I've got a ton of stuff in my bank that are all royal founder and founder, which means that if I take those, I can actually take those out now and actually get the eternal pattern for those, and that means I can actually make those items in the game as well as regular items. So all the royal founder and founder stuff, so bows, shields, tunics, plate, chain armor. You can go down through the list on this, and the admiral stuff, the elven archer armor, mage robes, the riding outfits, Knight Marshal's winged helm, Founder's Baron crown, the Duke crown, Lord of the Manor crown. You'll see people walk around with more crowns. New patterns for Grand Tour hats. So there's that with all the Grand Tour hats. So all these items that are in here, from the Cavaliers to Tricorn, Pilgrim, Buell, blah, 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 all the way through. And the list of releases that they came out. Crown merchants. These merchants are now discoverable as points of interest, so they'll appear on the compass, which is good. Chicken corpses. Gotta love that. Fixed an issue where it's hard to actually field dress them. Finding sometimes you have to get right on their little leg to actually get them to dress, so, or to skin them. Fishing polish and alcohol brewing was delayed. Ooh. Always looking forward to fishing. Fishing's fun. Offline combat balance and economy delayed. They've got to work done. They worked on the user experience first. There was a pass on the user interface. Combat bars. Players are now able to assign lock glyphs to empty slots as well. The NPC chat window, it's got some updates with it. New upper right icons. In the upper right, that open inventory options have been updated to much more graphical and iconic, so they look a lot more cleaner than what they were. In the user experience, journal task list, quests that generate tasks now display them on screen. They'll be over on the left side of your screen on there. Kind of like if you ever see them, if you played Eve, you'll see some of your task items come up there and things that you have to do, so you don't have to always refer back into the journal. Fewer starting skills. We're reducing the skills players start with to a single or at most 2 active skills so that they're not overwhelmed. A lot of times there'll be a lot of things, things will start going up, and if you don't start from the very beginning of actively taking and managing, I think your skills and learning how when to turn things on and not, I think it just creates problems down the road. So the idea that they're reducing it to not overwhelm people is a good thing. Gated combat UI features. We're going to start everyone with a locked combat bar that is always visible and that uses auto attack. So more advanced combat features will come online for the player via quests from combat trainers, and note existing characters are not effective. So if you've been playing it, I'm not going to do anything on here, but for the new ones it will create kind of a set bar, and then basically with the quests they can actually get to a point where they can actually explore and open up the more customizable things that we see. So auto defend, players who are in auto attack mode, which is all new players by default, will automatically unsheath their weapons and begin auto attacking. So if you're standing there and someone hits you, someone's going to come in. They'll come out and start whacking away or shooting at them. NPCs will now animate with "I have a quest for you" gesture when they have a quest for you. The blue glow indicates the NPC has a quest is now an option and may eventually be removed entirely. So it's there, and there's a lot of discussion in the telethon about that. Someone said, kind of like the question mark above someone's head or whatever else. It's there for right now as they work through the mechanics, but it may be actually come off of there. The whole idea of someone saying, come and saying, "Hey, I've got a quest for you," saying that seems to make a lot more sense. I'm totally excited about this. Jacob White, he's the creator of Soda Map. And if you've played Shroud of the Avatar, well, you've used Soda Map at sodamap.com. I literally live on the thing, so I'm trying to find something or where to go. I always go through Soda Map. So I'll read this one out because I think this is just worth it. We are so impressed with Jacob White's implementation of Soda Map and the community's contribution to the content of it that we decided to begin fully integrating it into the game. Simply hit the M key to bring up this feature. Note at this time it only works fully for the PC and a Mac version. We hope to have it working for the Linux and R41. So basically the in-game mapping is going to come in there, and rather than just going off and trying to figure out how to do that, they reached out. I think they reached out with Jacob's work and said, you know what, there's already a good thing here, let's incorporate that. So bravo to Jacob. Thank you for all the hard work and for everybody that's helped, contributed, donated into it. It's been an integral part of play, at least for me. So I'm very proud of that for Jacob, and congratulations on that. And I look forward to having that as an option in the game, and that will probably be one of the first set of videos I'll pull out tomorrow once it's available there. For user experience, players now start in traditional mouse mode. Hold down the mouse key to look and tab to key to now default to switching targets instead of swapping you between hold mouse and look free mouse. I tab all the time. I'm not a click on the hot bar thing and move around with my mouse. I use my keyboard all the time. So we'll see how that goes. We'll hopefully be able to be able to adjust for that. Friends list loading issue sucks. Bring up your friends list and the scroll bar's in the middle. and you have to scroll up to the top where all the active ones are. They're going to fix that. Even Lord British, who said that he couldn't stand it because Lord British actually friends you in the game. I guess his load list is huge, so yeah, you can't even scroll through it. You actually have to stop and go through it. So they're fixing that. Unlearning credit. We have built a new credit system for skills that we may modify significantly in a release. We'll flag those particular skills, and a player chooses to unlearn them will gain 100% experience spent back into their pool. We will leave this in effect in place for the duration of the release for skills that were modified in a negative way. This is in lieu of issuing everyone books of unlearning. So, I decided to pick up a skill. They changed the heck out of it. And some people call it nerfing, and I don't want to use it anymore. I'll be able to, for that period of that release, to basically wipe out that skill from my tree. But if it's something I put a lot of effort into, I've spent 700,000 experience points, that 700,000 will come back in my pool and I can use that for another one. I still have to go retrain something, but I'll have that. I won't have lost all that skill, so that's good. I'm glad they've kind of put in a kind of a fix that kind of negates just having to have the books of learning. Polished unarmed combat and idols, polished the animation. Decks are increased. The maximum decks has been increased to 12. It was at 6. No slugs in locked decks. If you have a locked deck, you won't see that. We created a custom death animation and corpse to handle dying in the water. Just makes it look a little bit cleaner. Fix the nearby players bug, so when a PvP player first enters the scene, you no longer see their name for 2 to 3 seconds in the PvP stats. It now properly appears as a question mark when they enter the scene, so it gives them a little bit of time to get into the scene. Magic visual effects, having a major polish on that, so you're going to see different animations and stuff they're going to come out for it. It's going to look different for them. So once again, I think just on the polishing, if they're going to get this thing ready to go for a production release, they've got to tidy those up. Obsidian arrow has been now called stone arrow, just so it wasn't confused with that itself. Douse now properly adds to your fire resistance. Cooldown timers now only displayed for lock skills. Heavy lifter updated description to better describe how the bonus works. Sword glued to flute bug. Fixed bug where you could enter combat while playing an instrument, therefore gluing your instrument to the weapon altogether. Your weapon and instrument together, so that's gone. Belts are no longer rings, so they are now on. They now appear where they should be. DOTs and cover bug. Fixed issue where cover was affecting damage applied from damage over time effects like rend, poison, fire. So yeah, if you have cover, you poison something and it's behind a tree, it was covering and reducing the damage effects. Now that doesn't happen. The Theris Vrul Demon Boss now provides more appropriate experience. I don't know if it gave too much or gave too little, but now I suppose it gives what it's supposed to. Ghost Scorpion. I fixed the poison debuff. Healing Grace and Healing Ray no longer require that you have your camera facing your target. These were using a fairly tight forward arc and was making players unintentionally cast on themselves instead of a target. This should greatly reduce miscasting of heals at critical moments. Fireproof fire resistance amount has been reduced to match the elemental resistant innate skills. For the duration of R40, players who choose to unlearn Fireproof will regain 100% of the experience spent back into their pool. So that's one of the ones they've done. It's one that I have. And explain and see how that's going to work and figure out if that's something I need to back out of or not. Chain Lightning now matches lightning. It's dodgeable and blockable with a shield, but not parryable. Fizzle Rate has been changed to match the pattern used for overall spells. This will make it more difficult for those in heavy armor to use an R40. Once again, this is if you want to step out of this, you think that's too much of a nerf, you'll be able to get that and put it back. Night Step no longer breaks stealth when used, but will trigger combat mode. So, all that big step there, that's actually worth a bit of a drink here. Apologies, a lot of talking. Weapons is decoration. I like decorating. I like the house stuff, so I'm geeked about this. So, as you can see from the pictures, you can put things in the house, which is great. So down in my basement, I have all my crafting tables. I put like some cloth bolts and stuff by the tailoring. I want to put other things by the carpentry table, the blacksmith table and stuff. So it's cool that you'll be able to do this. And it looks like you can lay them down or have them standing upright. I'm sure the rotating is normal. I know it's the R key, I think it is, that will lay it like a book, take it from standing upright and put it flat. Property manager slots. Players can now purchase additional property slots to store decorated homes and or basements with gold crowns. So gold crown merch, you'll be able to do that. Basically like bank slots. You'll have more of them that you can store. I don't know how to do that because, to be honest, if like I have my basement, I wanted to store it and put a new basement, I'm not going to go out and buy a whole nother set of all the loot that's inside there, the tables and whatnot. Maybe if you have a lot of money, that works out. Glad that there's more slots, but to be honest, I just need them to move from, I'm going from spot A to spot B. That's it. So, but for those who need it, that will be there. Property manager moving between scenes. Players can now use the property manager to move their fully decorated house or basement between different scenes by spending gold crowns. So the property manager, if I'm in a town and I want to move from here to there, I can save my stuff for the property manager, go to this lot, bring up the property manager and restore it. I did that in one of my videos in Owl's Head. I literally moved to one spot over. But it sucks if you want to move from Owl's Head to Central Brit. As well, yeah, you could save it, but you only could use it in Owl's Head. So then you really couldn't use it. You have to bundle everything up, stick it in the bank, and then now with all the encumbrance stuff, slowly schlep the stuff over. Now for I don't know what the additional gold crowns is. Basically, think of it as a moving fee. I can pack up in Owl's Head, go to Central Brit, restore in Central Brit, and Bob's your uncle. So that's a cool thing. I wonder how much it's going to cost, but it's a good thing. It's a good service. Players can now rename their lot deeds in their lot deed interface. So I can exit Owl's Head Village House versus Central Brit Village House. So something you can, you can see what the location is a little bit better. There's a whole thing with bottom floor decoration flags. So things like water wells, basement hatches and stuff, putting them on the second floor of your house doesn't make any sense. So they basically constrain it so you can be on the first floor. Carved oak furniture, pretty cool. We've got, this cabinet, the figures cabinet, the side table, the weapon rack, which would be great with these guys up here. What I didn't get, what I saw this is, that's fantastic. We can get maple wood, we can get pine wood. Where's the oak wood? So I don't know how you make the oak cabinets. It's going to be craftable because there's no oak wood, unless I'm missing something. So we'll see. I'll be sure that'll be one of the questions. I think from like the wood gatherers, we want more material. You've got, in mining, you've got, your different ores and your different things. Well, I'm hoping from a crafting, from a carpentry perspective, which I GM'd last night. There's video for that one as well. I really want to make some oak stuff, weaponry, furniture. So I'm interested to see how it's going to work. I'm glad this is in here. Thank you, Portalarium. But it leads to the next question. Post and rope water fence. This fence can be crafted in carpentry station and placed on water lots. So for the guys who have ships and gallons, that would be something out there. Oil lamps with frosted lampshades. These come floor and table sizes and can be crafted in the grain. Roadway pavers. Our first empties were at the wrong scale. We renamed these to walkway pavers. These new pavers are based on the giant pavers, so are at the base scale of 8 meters. Each set consists of 16 different pieces. So they did the first one, they just weren't the right size, so they're going back and redoing it. Cobalt steel and stone fence, sweet. Geometric stained glass oil lamp. These oil lamps with stained glass shades come in floor and table size. They can purchase in the add-on. They definitely look a lot sharper. Oak and glass cabinet display is available at the add-on store. You can actually go see them out there right now. Ornate oak panel wardrobe, this fine oak furniture set, a lot of floral patterns and whatnot. Let's see if I can see this. Pull up this one. Here it is. So a lot sharper, a little bit different look in there. I like this guy here. Whatever this one is the vanity. I like it. So this guy got a map on there. I do like the patterns on the beds and all that as well. What's the oak glass display cabinet? Let's see. Cool. Doors that open up and all that. So yeah, it's in the add-on store. So it's a cost. People that will go and get it, so I'm not. We'll see what we can get in the game as well. Decoration layer on stairs. We've added decoration layers to the tops of stairs and decorations differential layers to be front-facing parts of the stairs. So they've got some mechanics working where you can put your decorations around the stairs as well. 4 more POT blessing items like Titan statues, Dragon Bones, Hidden statues are now flagged as decoration instead of NPC buildings. Neighbor decorate fixed a bug that was allowing neighbors to decorate the walls of neighboring buildings that did not belong to them. Griefing through decorating. Elven Row Homes roofs fix an issue where the roof lines were extended into the neighbors' lots. Fix other variations in home. And let's see. In home, they couldn't places where decorations could not be placed. Stairs that could not be climbed without jumping. In the shingled roof, 2-story small old keep, Viking 2-story ornate 4-story green, Kobold Great City, Night Lighthouse, Knight Marshall Benefactor Village, Twin Spires Lord Founder, and the stucco 4-story. R39, you've got through today to get your tickets if you're going to get in there, if you are looking for a deed. The numbers for the R40 release will be for place anywhere deeds there will be 10, 5 row, 3 village, 1 town, 1 city, and for POTs there will be 10 rows, 6 village, 2 towns, 2 cities. So this is 10 place anywhere is 20 player owned towns for this current one. The next one's going to be 10 and 10, so they're going to decrease the pot ones on there. Same mixture, just cut them in half here. They're lowering them, so there's not as many. They're adjusting it based upon their lot availabilities and whatnot. New and updated dynamic POTs, whole host of them in here. I'm not going to go through them all. You can come see. New map. They will talk about Spring Telethon, the avatar, the content. So we get a wooden duck. The cool story about the wooden duck. Flowery butterfly mask. The stained glass and stained glass oil table lamp 3-pack. White flower topiary creature statues. 3-pack of Dragon Bear Satyr. Large spring themed fountain with floating candles. Easter contents coming in. The basket. The Lepus or Lepus mask. That mask. And the rabbit tail bodice ensemble. The satin outfit basically is white with pink, looks more Eastery, and it's got a fuzzy tail. So once again, on my character, I'm all excited for that. The Easter basket will have replenishes each year with 50 confetti eggs. Throw them in, confetti comes out. You throw them at players like snowballs. Dark Arc Gallopin of Death and Destructions. These are room and fellow creatures. I won't read text as spoilers. Musical instruments, ornate large harp store and the large harp craftable. Ornate kettle drum store and the kettle drum craftable. Increased audio range, how far out you can hear it. Bundle additions. After reviewing the bundles, that we are adding a bunch of new content to all the bundles, starting at the 2-story row house level. Some of those additions went immediately, but some of them had to wait for R40 for content. Performance, they talk about Unity 5, memory, load times, frame rates. There's a whole thing about this phone stability. Should be much better performance. We want to make steady improvement on those. Game Loop R40 is a further iteration of our Game Loop, but it's still missing a few key components and balance. Expect us to expand with each release. Basically saying we're working on it every month. Visual quality, help visual. They're improving the visual quality on it, whether it's on decloning things or adding more details. Pledge reports that have been built to have tech support and have tech to support them are in game. All other rewards are awaiting either content creation or tech support. Delayed content features. There's stuff that gets moved in and out. Appreciate their development cycle. There's a planned iteration or planned set of sprints that kind of get them to that release, that monthly release. Something's come in, something's come out on it, and it just doesn't go away. It just goes to a different prioritization. So that's it. That's all from Dark Star. A couple of comments that are on here. Water pack relief. So if we can receive craft oak furniture on R40, maybe harvestable oak trees are in the near future. As I said, it's the next question that's going to be asked. A lot of interesting stuff. There will be bugs. There will be patches updated. This first week is always a busy week, so hang in there. I'm excited. I'll get up. I actually took tomorrow off from work. I'm going to focus on R40, getting some video content out there in addition to this. It will be it's a fun day. It's a fun day every month for this, so it's one that I look forward to. Whew, that's a lot. So if you got questions, shoot them out, comments on the video and whatnot. If you like the video, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm working on subscriptions. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. If you like the content, you find the content valuable, please subscribe to the channel. At 100, it allows me to get a customized URL out of YouTube. So it's really just a mechanical thing, just something I'd like to have on that. So I apologize for asking. I will stop asking once I actually get to that point. You know, I've gone from like, I think I had 15 or so. I'm just shy of 50 subscribers. So thank you for those that did it. If you can help me get across that milestone there, and I can go get myself a better YouTube thing. One last thing. Special thanks, Barrick, community manager, the folks at Portalarium. Today they shout out a tweet mentioning the soda tutorials and the YouTube channel, what you're watching right now. It helped. I could actually see it in my stats YouTube, like, why did I get the spike of hits and people going to it? You know, they put it out on one of their tweets out there. They basically, it's a small thing for them to do, but I know they have a ton going on, and Barrick is a very busy person with everything that he's working on. Took the time to do that for me. It helps out. It helps get the word out that I'm making these videos, and hopefully it can help, you know, people out there enjoy the game a little bit more or have some fun with it. So thank you, Barrick. Thank you for the folks at Portalarium. Thank you, Richard and Star and everybody. You guys are, I think, doing a great job. So thumbs up from me on that. Once again, it's Elena Strongbow from SodaTutorials.com. Thank you and have a good one, and look forward to seeing you in R40 tomorrow.